Welcome back to your favorite podcast, Couple Pints Pod.
Oh,
It's Kollin and JMac here, repping the set. You got SQs and LI. Shouts out fucking Southold, dude.
shouts out
If only
Q's.
this was a map. We're in a tight studio just because we felt like switching it up.
Why not? But try new things.
Yeah.
Get creative. What do you want us to sit on the couch the whole time?
I know, right? So boring.
No.
Dude.
Get off the couch.
You got those nice tulips, I think.
Yup, maybe
I think they're tulips.
something like that.
I know flowers when I want to. Anyway,
Slather me
welcome
in
to
bacon
my
grease and call
kitchen
me a little
dining room
piggy.
area and fucking call me your mother.
How I Met Your Mother?
Great show, dude. Oh, we should have suited up.
Oh,
That would have made this serious ass ep so much better.
If we did a suit up.
Fuck. Imagine if we cut it right now and just like cut to just us suited the fuck up. I'm gonna look at you the whole time. Wait, I gotta fix this. Fuck. All right. So today I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah,
Today we had a request to multiple requests. Okay, so the premise of today's episode is we're doing one segment only, and that is I just want to talk about it.
bam. Yes.
We got a lot of requests from friends and some.
And
Fuck, this is such a tight. I'm too big for
dude,
this.
you
little
are
studio.
so locked in right there.
We got some requests from friends, family,
Yup.
listeners. We don't know. I made that up. Friends and family, and people are starting to miss the Pedo-Files.
They want another one.
The Pedo-Files, if you will.
They want more.
They want more. So instead of focusing on Epstein or Maxwell, we're going to talk about the hero of the Pedo-Files. And that might get me canceled if it's cut out of context.
It's cut out of context.
Fuck it. Let's dive right in. This is I Just Want to Talk About It. Chris Hansen.
Ooh.
So
Why don't you just come
let me
sit
give you a
down?
little backstory. Yeah, take a seat.
Take a
this
seat.
one's
Over
this
here.
one's a little.
Why don't you just come take a
It's
seat?
not as intense as like Epstein or anything. It's
Mm-mm.
it's literally like a protagonist story.
Yeah. It's a goodwill story on Chris Hansen and the ties he possibly
Made.
was so close and did make.
So for those of you who don't know, because a couple of people who were like, we missed the more intense research stuff.
They were just so interesting to listen to.
I
'cause-
said, okay, after we talked about it, have you heard of Chris Hansen? They said no. So here's some backstory. Chris Hansen, for anyone who doesn't know, is an American television journalist and YouTube personality. He has a podcast. He's known for his work on Dateline NBC, in particular, the former segment To Catch a Predator.
Oh,
You got to know To Catch
you
a Predator.
have to know that show.
Which revolved around catching potential internet sex predators using sting operations. And a sting operation, if you don't know what that is, it's like set up hidden cams all around the house, get someone to come there, and then catch them red-handed.
Got him.
Or like,
I have
Yeah.
someone with a body
That was a-
cam,
that was
send
a
him in,
general
get them
statement.
incriminated.
Yeah. because that could be predators, drug dealers, all that
Yeah.
shit.
Classic Sting.
If you ever watch Cops, you saw like the dainty blonde sheriff dress up like a prostitute in a sting operation.
Mm-hmm.
And Cops is a great show. R.I.P. So anyway, sting operation. Hansen said that when he was 14 years old, watching and following the FBI investigation and disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa, this is what got me kind of interested.
Jimmy
in it.
Hoffa?
Jimmy Hoffa was the president of the Teamsters Union. Shouts out the Teamsters because I work with them every day. Who got wrapped up in the mob, and they still are. And Jimmy Hoffa was murdered.
Poor Hoffa.
That investigation inspired him to become an investigative journalist. So this leads him to a job with NBC in college. Shouts out the Teamsters I work with. We all work for NBC.
Look at that.
Crazy small world.
Exo facto. NBC's your boss.
This just like a writing job for NBC gets him a hosting job on Dateline. So then after he's a host on Dateline for a while, this website called pervertedjustice.com hooks up with him and says, yo, take our idea, which all these volunteers at preferredjustice.com were like doing essentially to catch a predator, but not filming it. So then NBC hopped on, and these volunteers would dress up or like impersonate minors, usually like 13 to 15, 16-year-olds, in online chat rooms, because this was back in the days of like Yahoo Chat and AIM and like MySpace and shit. And they would like make plans to meet pedophiles and fuck.
Yeah. That's how you set up
And
the
then
sting.
the meeting places obviously were the sting houses, as the article I read said, where camera crews for NBC. And then this is the crazy part to me, and he talked about it on Flagrant too. At first, there weren't cops there, so these pedophiles would come in, and Chris Hansen would be like, it's almost like, what would you do when the host walks on? And he's like, why are you a scumbag? And then they just let the guy go. So then in later seasons, NBC was like, maybe we should have police on scene to like get these fucking pedophiles off the street. Whoever had that idea, shots at you.
Yeah.
So then later episodes, local police, and they would wait for these dudes to show up. The dude would like usually start hitting on the adult who was posing as a minor. And then Chris Hansen would like come out of like
the closet.
He'd come out of like the coat closet or like the pantry.
I'm Chris Hansen to catch a predator.
Or like you'd hear footsteps coming down the stairs and the guy would start freaking out, and then Chris Hansen turns a corner.
Hey, don't go anywhere.
Fucking hysterical shit.
Why don't you just take a seat?
So then
come sit down.
This is going to tie into the Pedo-Files we've already done and Kollin's research, which is during Hansen's work on To Catch a Predator, he eventually decides to look more into notorious predators instead of just like these small town creeps.
This is where it starts heating up. Start making
specifically within media and entertainment. Then he begins to launch a sting on Jeffrey Epstein.
Ooh.
That, unfortunately, as we're going to find out, failed.
Yes. Unfortunately.
The reason, or not the reason it failed, but the spark that caused the failure of that sting was because he began an investigation and eventually took down Peter Nygard, who we're going to learn about, and a couple other like YouTubers at the time and a couple other TV hosts, producers, like people whose names you don't really know, because I didn't really know them and I'm in the industry, so I left them out. But Peter Nygard's huge. He said on Flagrant 2 his biggest regret was not stinging Jeffrey Epstein, because it could have ended it all right
Everything.
there.
You would have got him.
So now I'll let you take over and then we'll talk.
Right,
we'll talk about it. So there's your backstory. Now you know who Chris Hansen is. He's a fucking legend. If you haven't seen To Catch a Predator, find it. I'm sure you can somewhere.
All right. So as
crazy
JMac said,
fucking story.
The reason he never caught or was able to get that sting operation in with Epstein was because of his security. Every time they would try and set something up or get a mole in the operation to get.
Well, I said the spark was Peter Nygard, because he after
he
what you're
Epstein, and then once
after what you're about to say,
couldn't do it with Epstein. That's when he stumbled on to Nygard.
Yeah, who was arguably a little worse than Epstein.
I'd say, and
they're both monsters, but Nygard was like
the
devil.
I kept thinking about it. Imagine how much security he actually had.
Epstein or Nygard?
Yeah, Epstein.
But how didn't Nygard have the same security?
Well, I bet because Nygard Hansen wasn't going after him like he was Epstein. The reason Nygard started getting caught like this was because of the property dispute that he had with his neighbor.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
now we're going off track.
Well, yeah, we're weaving in and out of on track, off track, putting pieces of story.
Why didn't Epstein work out?
So after he what did he say?
He showed up at his house.
Yeah, he showed up at his Florida mansion.
The notorious Florida mansion.
And got turned away multiple times by security, which were pretty aggressive. So once he said that he gave up because he got into new investigations. And Peter fucking Nygard. Holy shit. You know the Nygard jeans? The classic Nygard denim jeans? That's him. The clothing man. This guy was found after he had the dispute with his neighbor over some property. His neighbor sends in some investigators to look into if it's legal, if he can do this, if not. And the investigators start to find out that, Peter Nygaard's kind of exactly involved with human trafficking.
And there's very unfortunate
Very unfortunate.
evidence that proves this.
He wasn't only caught in purchasing, he was caught in the selling and distribution. But not only was that just a slim piece of the cake,
And like that's already terrible.
that's already terrible.
Like
But
you deserve to get shot in the fucking head for that. But
the-
then he goes on to do this.
even worse.
I'll let you say it because I don't want a soundbite of me saying what you're about to say.
The man, and this is proven. The man was found to be purchasing underage foreign girls in human trafficking operations, taking those girls to his low-key mansion,
Right near Epstein's house.
impregnating them, waiting for the fetus to develop enough, having them get an abortion, and then harvesting the fetus from the girls that he paid to take the stem cells and inject them into his own body for the quote unquote fountain of youth scenario.
Which also,
Huh?
I just want to stray off for a second. When people say, like, I'm not defending Hillary Clinton or Ghislaine here, but when people say they did that, I think that's sort of just like folklore because someone has done it. So now they just assume that people arguably of higher power are doing this, but like this dude is literally proven guilty of doing this.
See, I would argue and
like this shit
agree with
isn't
you about
conspiracy.
yeah.
This shit is not conspiracy. This is real shit.
Yeah.
And it's fucking demonic.
Can I just mention, because now you got me thinking, I would 100% agree with you and say that there's no way Hillary Clinton would have done this.
But I
or
think
did this.
I think like the people who accuse
but there's
other people of doing this, like just took it from this case because it was proven that you can actually, or
you can, but
can do this.
The one she's accused of is a short little film called Frazzle Drip.
Yeah, it's different.
That they got
we've
off
already
Anthony Weiner's
we've
laptop.
already talked about it. Yeah.
And that one people say is 1000% real because there's video to go along with it. And you can see who's in the video.
Yeah.
And that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But this shit.
But anyway, this dude was doing that shit.
And then is now waiting extradition from the US of A.
Wait, to where? Because if this took place in Florida, they wouldn't be extraditing him.
I think he's.
I kind of assumed he was dead. This was like this was like year half of the
He's
research.
still in jail right now. He's just withering away.
Presumably in like Miami or like
I think
Dade County or something.
He's in the New York jail, I'm pretty sure. The one with Maxwell, the one that Maxwell's in.
Okay, that's interesting. He was caught in Florida. Well, Maxwell was caught in whatever.
Yeah, so they have him in there. And how props to Chris Hansen for wanting to do it all. But how can you look down on yourself, man, for breaking this case, dude?
I know.
I mean, yeah, Epstein was probably another big pawn in that puzzle, and you took one of the pieces out by getting Nygaard, but still, that was huge.
Everything he's done is huge.
Because his connections are insane. They're so vast.
Yeah. And even if Hansen didn't do Nygaard or Epstein, he's still To Catch a Predator was like fucking like 8 or 12 seasons
of just pure amazingness.
That's the one thing I forgot to write down. He had a tenure with Dateline. I don't know how much of that tenure was To Catch a Predator because that was like a segment on Dateline, but he worked for Dateline for like 22 years. So let's say To Catch a Predator, even if he started it 10 years in, that's still 12 years and Dateline is on every night of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, the work week. But like, I don't know how much it's on anymore, but I remember as a kid, it was on every night, and my TV time ended when Dateline started. And then as I got older, I was like, I had TV in my room, I'd watch it. But like that dude has put so many people away.
Oh, yeah.
And even he mentioned it on Flagrant though, like, because Schultz was saying like, well, why weren't the cops there the whole time? And Hansen was like, well, as soon as it comes out, the guy goes to jail anyway. And then Schultz was like, well, why didn't you streamline it? And then he was like, we did.
Mhm.
But still,
We did.
like, dude, that dude has put away. He changed. He
Oh,
changed the
yeah.
world. Like, that's a fucking. He deserves a medal or some shit,
I'm not surprised there were not operations.
or like a title,
He deserves some sort of title, but I'm surprised there weren't more
something.
hit operations on him. Because
Yeah,
once he started getting into the bigger trafficking rings,
I'm shocked he's not dead.
yeah, I'm so shocked he's not dead.
And when fucking Jones on Flagrant the week before, which was also the funniest clapback of all time, Alex Jones was like, yeah, he got blew up with the car bomb. But like, nah, dude, he's doing good.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened.
When Jones said that though, I was like, no way, the fucking Dateline guy got blown the fuck up. Like, and then in my head, I tricked myself. I was like, oh yeah, I heard about that. Like, Epstein or someone blew him up, and then next week he's on fucking Flagrant 2. Like, yeah,
Still
it was
there,
a
still
shock.
kicking.
I'm surprised I'm dead. And then he went on to say all these amazing fucking things he's done for humanity.
See, I don't know why he would look down on himself anyway. Peter Nygaard had direct connections to Epstein.
Yeah, which also helped incriminate Epstein.
Epstein.
Because also you got to think, like, all these people they put away are definitely snitches.
Oh yeah, there's no way.
To an extent. But like Nygaard, bro, I can't even
save their own ass.
I can't even imagine the sentence Nygaard was going up for. Because like you got to think like Ghislaine has a lot of really fucked up charges, and Epstein had a lot of really fucked up charges. But Nygaard was injecting fetal stem cells into himself.
He admitted
that's got to be some like that's like manslaughter, murder, or something. Like Epstein and Ghislaine weren't killing people and harvesting their body parts and then injecting themselves.
Yeah, who knows what they were really doing? But this guy,
dude, it's crazy. This is real world shit,
right?
Like for half a second while I was talking about that, I felt like this was another. I just want to talk about it where we talk about movies, because this is like the first one where we're not talking about a movie.
Crazy train bullshit.
It's some shit you. I wish someone made it up.
I wish this was just JMac and I making up random shit.
Not even. I wish this was like some movie you watched.
Yeah, thank God we're not making up this random shit. We would have pretty fucking twisted minds.
That's why I immediately negated that statement.
God, good Lord, we're not coming up with this.
Do you have more? Before we just keep going off on tangents?
I was just gonna say some of the people that Nygaard had connections to.
Yeah, go for it.
Which was Epstein, the Clintons, Brima Abramovich, Lady Gaga, Harvey Weinstein, Prince Andrew.
Okay, so
you got direct connections.
You got to think, out of all the names you just said, you keep involving Lady Gaga. I don't know where you're reading this shit. I don't really question it because
so
I don't
connected.
Care.
I think she's connected because Brima Abramovich came out and said that Lady Gaga, when she first got into the music industry, came to her and said, "Can I literally be your disciple?" And that's when Lady Gaga started putting out all the weird Illuminati meat suit.
That seems like
weird
some
fucking
weird
videos.
Gaga shit to say too.
And of course,
I don't believe in God. I want to worship you.
But I want you to be my queen.
The point I was gonna say was,
I will be a drag.
I'll be a slave. Don't start using fucking lyrics to prove yourself. I kind of like being near the mic stand, dude. I like touching it.
I like touching it.
No, but out of everyone you just said, Lady Gaga is the only one that I'm like, I've never heard of them doing anything wrong. But Prince Andrew, fucking scumbag.
Harvey Weinstein.
The Clintons, fucking scumbags. Harvey Weinstein, we all know, fucking scumbag.
Scumbag.
Well, Harvey, unfortunately, is the only convicted pedophile, but we all know all of them have done weird kitty shit.
Well, Epstein was convicted too. People just seem to bat a blind eye.
Oh, yeah, that was the first name. See, in my head, I skip over that because it's like, yeah, we all know that.
Yeah.
Same with Harvey Weinstein. Dude, why? I can never get over it. Maybe we can make like a conspiracy corner out of this, because like, I can never wrap my fucking head around. Not even a conspiracy corner. This is like a theoretical thought. that maybe you can think up and answer this question, but like, why the fuck do rich white people love banging out kids, murdering kids, and on the occasion, you know, when the moon's shining right, harvesting their fucking stem cells? Like, why are there so many cases of this?
Every time I think
You
about
can't
it,
even sympathize with it. Like,
there's no
it's not even one
sympathy.
of those situations where it's
They're
like,
just disgusting
where it's like, oh,
fucks.
you know, like, not that I'm saying, because it's a really dark subject,
I
but
guess
like,
I can bat an eye on this one since you had to chop her face off to feel younger.
sometimes you hear some fucked up shit. Like, people shit on Obama for like drone strikes, and it's like, yeah, most of them were not necessary, but there's the one in a couple where it's like, okay,
That's a good shot.
not even that. Like, we were hitting a target that needed to be eliminated. But in this sense, it's like you're just ruining, you got to think, rule of six, dozens of lives by abducting, trading,
Trafficking,
raping,
torturing,
trafficking, torturing,
harvesting.
and eventually murdering a child of God knows how many years.
Yeah,
And it's always old, rich, white people. Always, every time,
always,
every time. Prove me
every
wrong.
time.
Prove me wrong, but that's my question.
I don't
What
think
is
anyone
it?
can prove you wrong.
What is it?
I keep hearing a lot of
Like,
a
why?
lot of bullshit about how they keep talking about the old way, because you know how all the ancient societies to please the gods or to get wealth or to
Who? The fucking
the
Mayans?
Egyptians, the Mayans, the Aztecs.
Okay, did they would sacrifice children?
Yeah. So what I
Did
keep
they have
hearing,
sex with the kids before that?
no.
Did they brutally tear these children away from their families, or were these children offered by their families who practice
So
this
is where it
faith?
gets darker. The old way was just for a plentiful something from the god, but now the way
Yeah,
they
but
did
no,
it
no,
was
no,
they
but
were
that's
sacrificing for the evil gods. So the evil gods, the demons, the demonic souls that are still
shouts
trapped
out
here.
last week's episode, Lil Nas's boyfriend, your worst fear, the devil,
Yeah. So apparently, when
who
you
doesn't
do
exist.
that
So why
with
are we raping children?
when you do that and you torture children and you sacrifice them in that way, you know that the demon god or the Moloch, the goat god,
Sure.
the lore goes that
Is that like why all like scary movies and horror games have goat heads in them?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
The lore goes, if you do that sacrifice in that way, then some evil entity will appear to you and be able to grant you whatever you want or possess.
Dude, rub a
But you need a soul.
rub a goddamn lamp for
Yeah,
Christ's
but you
sakes.
need
Why
a
are you
soul for
murdering
sacrifice.
children before you fucking discover genies?
And you remember the old adage, what's the best sacrificial tool but the untouched soul or untainted soul of a child?
Whatever happened to the sacrificial lamb?
Well, yeah, I mean, think of it. It's everywhere.
Used to sacrifice
Yeah. And now I don't think it can be a lamb for you to achieve that sort of immortal power or dark power you're looking for. Because there's no, people say that creatures of light don't intervene with humans for their every day-to-day wants and needs. They intervene to show you a correct path or a way or in some sort of enlightenment to help you, not to hand and foot give you something to aid you along your way. So if something does that, they say it's more of a dark spirit because they're the only ones that are able to come to you and say, I can give you what you want.
So you're telling me
need to give me something in return.
You're telling me these old, rich, powerful white people are doing what they do to achieve immortality.
Well, not either immortality or just pretty much. I mean,
let's
in
say-
layman's
let's say
term,
that-
wishes,
let's
just
say-
dark wishes.
Okay, great. Let's say that's the case, right? Like, when you look at ancient civilizations who did this, that all broke down to like seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And you can prove that through archaeology, where you'd find these like almost mass graves and they can date it to like they would do it for rain, but it just so had like they weren't intelligent enough to be like, oh, this is the rainy season. They would just kill
It just so
kids
happens
and
it
then it would start
correlates that I
raining,
slaughter
and they
this
were like,
person and rain
oh,
comes down.
before they knew anything. Well, they knew a lot of stuff, but before they knew that, where is that in these circumstances where it's like, let me do this demonic shit, this really fucked up, I deserve the worst punishment that I can't even I said shot in the head earlier. No, you should get stabbed with a dull spoon in the head until you're dead. Like
Repeatedly just jabbed with a spoon.
But like, you get what I'm saying? Like at least these other cultures and these other civilizations who did it.
There was a rhyme for their reason.
Yeah. With this, it's just, we have money.
There's
why
no
not?
rhyme or reason.
Hey, fuck it. Why not? And it's also never their kids.
Never.
It's not like the Gates are saying, oh, we are going to give our daughter to the cause. Like, it's not like any of these people are saying, we're going to give this person, my child, to the cause. It's, let's go to fucking Peru and abduct half a village and torture the shit out of them.
Go to an orphanage in Peru
and then murder
sneak
them.
a bunch of kids back into America.
And we'll give them like $500 or whatever the fucking.
We'll coax them in.
I'm saying low numbers to make them seem worse, but still no number compares to the price of a fucking life.
See,
and I genuinely believe that.
Yeah,
unless you're unless you're these people. But like,
apparently these people have
an innocent life.
thought.
Life. Let me retract that. No number amounts to an innocent life. So my whole point is, in the past, yeah, it's fucked up in theory, but like nowadays you can't. There's no reason.
There's zero reason to do it except for the fact that either
there's
works.
no proof.
Exactly. So why keep doing it unless they know there's some sort of proof? Why would everyone continue to?
Because also back in the day,
proof.
it wasn't proof, but to them it was proof enough.
Either those evil, dirty fucks know something and have seen something when this happens, or they're going off of what their great grandfather put them into because that's their family bloodline has just been secret society worship.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. There's no other conceivable reason behind it.
Can't be.
It's like, dude, it's like comparable to like the mindset of the family in Get Out.
Yeah.
How that whole family's purpose was to do what they were doing, and they were raised that way. And it's like a whole like 30, 45-minute piece of the movie is the dad explaining to the daughter while he thinks the guy is hypnotized that like, we were like made to do this. This is generations old. We've been doing this. And it's just like, holy shit.
Just generations of psychopaths. Because think about it.
That was the whole, I mean, not the whole premise of Get Out, but it's also like, break that chain, bro.
Yeah. You'd think it'd be easy, right? You'd think,
I mean, my parents aren't billionaire pedophiles, thank God. But true. Like in my head, it would be easy. In your head, it would be easy.
It'd be so easy.
But also you have to think these people are so fucked up and sadistic. It's like, oh,
especially if they know they can get whatever they want if they do it.
Little fucking Andrew is trying to break the chain. Prince Andrew's trying to break the mold. We got to kill him off. But see, Prince Andrew played it right. Or no, sorry. He's the pedophile.
Yeah,
Prince Harry is trying to break the chain. He's trying to do it right. But Prince Harry is like an international treasure at this point. So they can't kill him off.
No, he's safe for the time being.
See, so he's doing it right. I mean,
you know who almost did it right?
R.I.P. Diana. I know what you're going to say.
Yep, Diana almost did it right. So close.
Well, she did break the chain. Well, she married into the family, but she broke the chain and they fucking killed her.
Yeah.
And that's also the goddamn truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's all these fucking rich white people, dude.
Just slaughtering people that they
like.
Don't
imagine if Epstein had a son who was like a philanthropist, billionaire who just like was fixing insane amounts of issues, fighting child trafficking, fighting pedophilia, fighting, all these huge issues that we're talking about, he'd be dead in seconds.
Seconds.
The second that shit hit the media, he'd be dead.
And you can't argue out there because clearly, if you've listened to us, you
And
know
also-
that they ousted Ghislaine Maxwell's father, who was top in the program of Israel. They just threw him off the side of his own yacht.
Yeah.
Body
And
never
then-
found.
And then fucking blew up the yacht.
Exactly. So if you think they wouldn't do it to their own kin if they tried to stop him, whew,
They've already done it.
they've done it multiple times over.
And there's legitimate proof of it.
You know what else I think it is?
I mean,
Sometimes
Diana's the best
fucking witchcraft
example.
too. Sometimes, because you remember in the olden days when it was, oh, these people are witch, but then it came out that people actually did practice witchcraft.
But that's the scariest part. Like, you have to think of it. Some of these people in reality and in some people's eyes, even though they don't really have respect anymore, are world leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Hillary fucking Clinton ran for president.
Yeah. And she's got a video out there called Frazzle Trip.
Like,
She's got emails that were magically deleted.
Epstein's tied to everyone.
Yeah.
Fucking Nygaard is tied to more people than Epstein. Prince Philip is part of the royal family who runs, in theory, runs England, even though they fucking don't. But
I just think it's so fucked up.
dude, episodes like this, that's why I wanted to stop doing them. Like, it makes me lose so much faith in humanity. But then there's Chris Hansen, who's a shining goddamn light in this world, and I cannot believe he's
Goddamn angel.
It's fucked up to say I'm happy you cut me off because I was gonna ride right into it. It's really wrong to say, but I cannot believe that man is alive.
I know.
He's got to have some sort of fucking security team.
He has to. He's got to have all the right people around.
I wonder
him.
if hits have been put out on him.
Oh.
We didn't even think to
I
look into that.
guarantee there's been multiple hits. He probably keeps a lot of them wrapped under the rug, though.
True.
Because you don't want.
Because then if you fight, like you publicize that and really start fighting back, they'll just like
they'll just send someone to your
fucking
house.
nuke your house.
Yeah.
No, they probably sent people to his house.
They probably did. Probably
Think
wasn't
about
there.
these people.
Well, yeah, they can find
They're
random blacklisted people.
They're committing heinous crimes to various ages of humanity. Like, oh, this guy's a threat. Take him out. Nah, bro. Chris Hansen is goddamn fucking.
You try to take Chris Hansen out. Chris Hansen will take you out.
Yeah, but peacefully, which is the dopest part. What a fucking guy, dude.
I love Chris Hansen.
I'd love to get a couple pints with Chris.
Chris Hansen. Couple pints. Cheers to
Well, let
you.
me cheers for a thumbnail.
Cheers, Chris Hansen. Man, I wonder if we could get 5 to 10 minutes of his time.
We got a little dark on that one, but
See, but that's the weird part. The people who asked this, the reason they found it so interesting, because even though it was dark, it's like those criminal or crime shows that once you start watching, you can't look away, because even though it's dark and even though it's scary, you just, I'm loving
people
this
love
information.
shit, yeah. I'm a huge fan of that shit.
And I
When
think
I was
that's why
quarantined-
people love it.
I think I talked about it in the COVID episode, our first video episode, how I was like, dude, I've been extremely addicted to serial killer docs.
You were.
I fucking love serial killer docs.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I mean, what are we gonna do? Email him and do a part 2? We just
Not even a
covered-
part 2. Literally just talk to him about
just be like, hey,
the
what's up,
Epstein
bro?
situation.
I just want to talk about it. Oh yeah, who knows how much he'll talk about it to amateur dudes.
I mean, 2 random fucks.
I mean, he said it on one of the biggest podcasts, except for Joe Rogan.
So imagine the cool details we might get.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh. If we got him and he came on and he was like, I didn't say this on flagrant, but there was one night where I was staking out his house and I was right out there and I had multiple
That's the
pictures.
other shit about him. Don't even finish that thought, because we're talking hypotheticals.
Yes.
And I want to talk the goddamn truth. He does this shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's not just like putting it together. He's not the executive producer. He's not the
He's not sitting in the dressing room waiting
Yeah.
for people to give him reports.
He's fucking out there hiding in a goddamn closet, waiting to bust a goddamn predator.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when you said, like, yeah, I was out there staking out his house, I could literally see him, and he probably did, like, sit in a blacked out van with a fucking tight quarters with a camera crew, like, wait till the gate opens. Let's see what we can get. We'll get closer. Like, dude, that dude he's like a general in the militia of busting pedophiles.
He's
mad
busted
respect.
them.
Mad respect.
Such a man. We should tag him in this one
Yeah, we will.
because it's all about how much we love you.
Goddamn boss.
You fucking animal. Ugh. Hey, do you want to end on a happy note?
Yeah, what?
Do you?
I was thinking that before we started, but I didn't say it. Because also the whole episode, like, in reality, the whole episode's a happy note.
Hey,
'Cause
100%.
we're talking about a
it's a
goddamn
happy note.
American hero.
A true blue-blooded American. Chris Hansen.
Also pretty, the more we say it, the more badass his name is.
Right?
Like, Marcus Luttrell is a badass name, the lone survivor. But, like, that's up there. Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen.
Fucking, what's the other
Any
dude's
way
name?
you say it, it's so cool.
What was the American sniper's name? His name was
Chris
badass
Kyle.
too. Chris Kyle. Sick name.
Fucking Chris Kyle. Oh,
Yeah, it's just some names.
just some
But
names
not a lot
that
of
really
people-
tickle your insides.
Not a lot of people know. Like, Chris Hansen. He sounds like a fucking war hero. And I mean, essentially he is, without violence, which is even cooler,
I can't
in my
imagine.
opinion.
If
Could you imagine the adrenaline of, like, hiding in the fucking coat closet over there? And then you hear the footsteps up the creaky stairs and just like, hey, sweetie, how are you doing tonight? And you let it kind of progress to the point where it's like, I got to stop this shit. And it's not even bust out. You casually just silently open the door, close it behind you, just walk out here and you're like, hey, who are you? And 9 times out of 10, they thought he was the dad.
Are you the father?
And then, like I said, it's like the what would you
No.
do guy where he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
What are you doing
Like,
here?
that was my favorite part of that show. He would try to get in their minds, and like 9 times out of 10, they just like run out the front door, and that's why they started bringing cops with them. But like, sometimes the dudes would like have a whole conversation about him
Mm-hmm.
or with him. Be like, oh, I thought she was of age. And he's like, we have the logs. Like, no, you didn't. You fucking pedophile.
The ones that always hung around dug a deeper hole.
Those are the sickest ones. Yeah.
I mean, they looked right at him. And were
I
like,
mean, sickest.
I
Like,
didn't see a problem.
Yeah.
I thought everything was gonna be fine.
are you talking about the pizza guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be okay.
I mean, sick, like, in the head, not like, dude, those were the sickest fucking episodes, dude. Like, those were the mentally the most sick.
Yeah. No, they 10,000%. But can I just mention one other absolute legend? I gotta mention Keanu Reeves.
What did he do?
He-
I mean,
now,
he's a legend, but like, does he
it's-
tie into this?
No,
at all?
not at all, because
So
he's
why are we
scot-free.
talking about
Because when I think
No,
of
I'm saying, does
legends,
he tie into it in a sense of like Chris Hansen, or like you're just saying he's a cool guy?
well, I'm just saying if we're talking about how much a legend Chris Hansen is, I just gotta say, every time the word legend comes to my mind,
Oh well, yeah.
Keanu Reeves is one of the
he's
first
the
names that
GOAT.
comes.
Yeah.
I had to say that. I just love that guy.
Anyway, you know the thank you for being a bad friend, how they end it like together.
Thank you for being a bad friend.
Yeah, I think we should do that, but thank you. Should we say thank you for being Chris Hansen, or just thank you, Chris Hansen?
Thank you, Chris Hansen.
Okay. Look at the camera.
3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Chris Hansen. You the fucking man. I ain't never
We'll-
gonna stop loving you, Chris
Hansen.